1, 2. You sure the mic working?
I bet, because I don't want to mess up now. I'm Barr+Friends. We keep it authentic, funny, and inspirational. Welcome to the episode. Oh, and if you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel, like, comment, do anything you want to just support us. And let's just get into this. Ah, man, I love this.
I am your listening host, Christian Barr, and you are tuned in into the Barr+Friends podcast. Joining me on today is a businessman, hotel owner, hospitality consultant, content creator, fashion icon, a man that makes a difference and helps men achieve their aspirations. Jordan, welcome to the podcast, bro.
Thank you, Christian, and thank you for considering me one of the friends.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. I remember the first time that you came into where I worked at, and I was like, "You look successful. You are successful." But I'm like, I had to have him on my pod, so I'm glad that we were able to make this happen. And yeah, man, I'm excited for the conversation.
No, I'm very excited, and from the second I met you too, Christian, you just had this energy about you, right? It made me want to be your friend. It made me want to get to know you better, and I appreciate you coming to me, right?
Amen.
Talking with me, making that effort as someone to want to create a relationship. So over the days and weeks of months of seeing you, we finally got something together.
Yes, sir.
Right? You just had an energy of someone I want to be around.
Appreciate that, bro. Appreciate that, man. So before we get into it, I want to know, because one of my goals is to travel more. So what's a place that you visited and just fell in love with it, and you want to go back there again?
Yeah. Well, I think first things first, I love Sullivan County, and I love the Sullivan Catskills. So if you've never visited us here where we are, it should be on your list. Not only do we have beautiful mountains, landscapes, but we have a culture here of people who truly love people and love to take care of them. So there's fantastic hotels, fantastic restaurants. And what I always tell people, different from living in a city, different from living anywhere else, we get to know you, right? You can't buy that. And I've lived in Westchester, right, the north of New York City, or even traveled to places like the Hudson Valley, on a more micro scale.
Right.
And they forget about you.
Right.
Right. And I love seeing similar faces. I love seeing people. That's what makes me happy. And I think in the grand scheme for anyone's business, having people love you is important, right? Having people be excited to see your staff is important, right?
For sure.
We love to buy things from people who remind us of our friends, of our family, right? And we forget that sometimes.
Right.
So, first answer, Sullivan Catskills.
All right.
Visit it.
For sure.
For sure. But I think of places that I travel to, as funny as it may seem, I love Washington, D.C., right?
What?
I love Washington, D.C. I love history. I love this country. I love the architecture. And I think it's just a beautiful location.
For sure.
Right? So that's on the list again to revisit this November.
Okay.
Of other spots I'm going to visit, I really want to visit a good friend of mine out in Long Island. He's right at the tip there. I always botch the name Amagansett, so I'm going to see him there.
Okay.
I want to visit someone down in South Carolina, the Charlotte area, so I really want to visit that.
Okay.
Florida, Miami, need to get in on a beach before this time is over.
For sure.
But definitely Mexico and Spain. Those are on the list of locations to visit. Mexico, I'm Mexican, so it's near and dear to my heart. I think it's important to really resonate with your culture as a whole, understand where we came from. And then Spain, because long term I'm trying to get some European dual citizenship.
Okay.
So they really help out Mexicans there. So we want to get that citizenship there as well.
Absolutely. Who did you have, Kendrick or Drake?
You know, for me, it has to be Kendrick.
Okay.
Kendrick won.
Yeah,
right.
Hands down.
Kendrick won. I think that Drake, who he is, he doesn't embody anything that that he speaks.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, right? Like what he preaches, he doesn't live it. And of course, I understand. It's all a facade. I get it, right? It's they do that.
But still,
Kendrick won it. Not what is it? Not Like Us.
Yes. Yep.
I was listening to it as I was arriving here. They're Not Like Us. He won, right? And the music video at the end of the day pretty much summarized the win.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I haven't been caught up, but I haven't seen anything come back out from the Drake side.
Nope, I haven't seen it. So
I think that pretty much answers that question. So
For sure.
Kendrick all the way, and I love his early stuff.
Oh
right?
yeah, bro. What?
The early stuff. Yeah, that's good.
So good. Kendrick.
Kendrick.
Oh yeah, all the way. Just he is such a dope lyricist, bro. And so, and nothing against Drake or anything like that, but no, Kendrick bodied the whole beef, bro. So yeah, and plus I'm just a big fan of hip hop. Are you a big fan of hip hop as well, or I love all kind of music, but
I would say I'm weird, right? I'm 26.
Okay.
I love hip hop and rap, and I'm stuck in the 2010s.
Bro.
50 Cent,
Yo,
Fabulous, all of those guys.
Fam.
Fabulous is my favorite rapper, right? Him and 50 Cent.
Okay.
I live that. I love that. I really don't like anything new that's coming out, and I joke.
I hear that.
I joke with people. I've become an old head in a sense, right? I'm like, the music from when I was growing up was good,
Right.
So I love that. I love reggaeton.
Okay.
Right? I love Spanish rap,
yeah.
right? And I love jazz, right? So that's what I love, and I need to go out to see more concerts. But my last hip hop concert I saw was 50 Cent when he was doing the 20-year anniversary of Get Rich or Die Trying, I believe.
Wow.
So we saw him live. That was
How
a
was
great
that,
show.
bro?
That was a great show. I stuck out like a sore thumb. I guess I'm not the target market of 50 Cent. But, I loved it. I went with my brother. We had a fantastic time. The music was great. He brought out great acts. And you felt the energy. I resonated with it
sure.
very, very much so.
I actually saw on a TikTok that you made a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
That you should stick out, or you shouldn't be like wallpaper.
Correct.
Please elaborate on that.
Yeah, I would love to. So, I have a couple of principles that I live my life with,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that everyone should live by principles
Yes, sir.
because it holds us accountable. And if people around you and your friends know what principles you believe in, then they can hold you accountable when you deviate from your path. So one of the principles I embody is not being wallpaper. And I tell every man you should not be wallpaper. And like you mentioned, what is wallpaper? Wallpaper blends in. We cannot blend in. There are so many men in this world, so many guys that we need to stick out for multiple reasons. Why should we stick out? One, it gives us better opportunities, right? Women see us differently, right? Amongst all guys, we're all the same biologically. What can we do? We can dress better, right? We can smell better. We can look better. We can work on ourselves externally, internally. But what I tell a lot of people is the external is so important. Two reasons. One, we all judge, right?
Facts.
You can't say we don't judge, because if you do say that, you're lying. Let me give you a really big hypothetical. You're walking on the street and a homeless man very quickly walks up at you. You quickly judged him as a threat, right? You quickly judged him because of the way he's dressed, the way he looks, and now flip that scenario and a gentleman in a really nice suit kind of quickly walked up to you. You aren't as on guard, right? And that's a huge hypothetical, but people judge.
Right.
So I think the most important thing is don't give them a reason to judge you. Dress well, dress clean, clean shoes, have everything be nice and tight, because within that first 30 seconds, they've already made a decision if they trust you, if they like you, and don't give them a reason not to. And then from there, we can build. right? So people judge. So I think the wallpaper thing is critical. You want to stand out as a man from your appearance. I think is the most important thing you can fix first, and it's not difficult, right?
Right.
You get a nice. If you're a guy and you've never worn a suit out and about on a regular basis, I challenge you to do so, and notice how people treat you differently. Wear a clean shirt. Women will be more comfortable talking to you, and smell good. You know, I think being wallpaper is one of the worst things that you can do as a man because you're not giving yourself a chance to stand out.
Your genesis. And I ask this question to people that come on the pod, and pretty much what genesis is the beginning of their life, like their birth, things that led up to where they are today. So, Jay, if you don't mind, what is your genesis? What are the things that have led you to where you are today?
Thank you. That's a good question. I would say our upbringing as people is so important. I do think that everything that you may think is wrong with you or your core beliefs that are inside of you right now are all expressions of things that happened to you growing up, both positive and negative. And I think, one, if you haven't dealt with those traumas and things, you have to take care of that because you need to leave it behind you and move on.
Right.
I'll give you an example for me on something that I think affects me every day. I grew up, my mom and dad have always been very hardworking. My mom always had businesses. And when I was a child, she opened a daycare. She opened a daycare because she wanted me and my brother to have friends to play with,
right,
and equally make money, right? So enjoy, she make money, but enjoy it.
Right.
And from a child, I have always been around people. So I actually credit me growing up in that daycare with so many children for enhancing my social skills. That's one of the best things that has helped me in my life. Being able to talk to anyone, being able to pretty much start a conversation, keep it going, make people laugh. And I credit that all to my upbringing, right? Being around people. And I actually tell people with children, make sure your children are around children because they need that, right? Us as parents, I'm not a father yet. I will be one day.
Yes, sir.
But, we need to really develop our kids into who we want them to be. And one of the best things that we can do is actually have them be with other children and not be social outcasts, be someone that is good with everyone, right? That's the best thing that you can do. I forget, it's like by 3 years old, 4 years old, your job as a parent is to make sure your kids can laugh and joke with other kids.
Absolutely.
But I would say growing up socially was very important. My parents are immigrants to this country. They came here with nothing 30, 35 years ago. And, from birth, they've always been working very hard. My mom had 2 or 3 jobs. My dad always worked. They always had businesses. They worked very, very hard. And I saw that. And one of the things that children of immigrants maybe don't know that they deal with is that we were forced to grow up very quickly because inherently we had to have a lot of conversations on behalf of our parents. So as funny as it may seem, me, 12, 13 years old, I was calling credit card companies for my father. I was paying electric bills. I was having conversations with vendors. It kind of forced me to grow up very quickly. And that was important. Growing up quickly, social skills, it kind of bounced me into adulthood very quickly, which bouncing into adulthood very quickly is good and bad. But for me, it was good because it allowed me to get jobs, hold positions, and things like that allowed me to grow and learn.
I definitely want to talk about the ladies.
The ladies, okay.
And you made a comment a little bit earlier before we got started on here about don't chase women. And I thought that it was very interesting, which I understand why. Because I'm not going to lie to you, before I got married, I put all of my energy into that. And I I'm a little bit frustrated when I think about like my late teenage years up to like my middle 30s, is because I could have been a little bit more productive with my life. I could have probably did this podcast earlier. I probably could have had a business. But I guess what really stopped it all was like my focus for women. Like I had to have a lady in my life, and I mean, hey, ain't nothing wrong with having a woman. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
But I think that there should be limits.
Yeah.
And you got to take care of yourself first. You got to
Yes.
make sure that things are in line and things are in place. And so I understand kind of the reason why you mentioned that or said that because of my own experiences, but I want to ask you, why did you say that, and why do you feel that way?
Yeah. So, I'm 26 now.
Right.
I had a girlfriend 18 to like 21, 22. It was a long-term relationship.
Oh, wow.
She's great. I love her. She's a great friend. We're still in contact to this day.
That's what's up.
And when we broke up, of course, breakups are always difficult, but I think that that's a rite of passage. It made me want to improve myself as best as I could. And why did I want to improve? I think in the moment I was like, okay, I'm going to improve to get another girlfriend, right? Like it's kind of like this get. I want to get it. But for young guys, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, right? 8 years, you should not focus on women, because inherently long term in the moment, you really don't have anything to offer, right? You don't have experiences to share with them. You probably don't have money either to really spend on them. Women are going on dates is expensive. Having women is expensive, right? I forget what it was. It's like $25,000 a year to actually have a girlfriend,
Bruh.
right? And if you just account it out, if I want to go on 1 or 2 dates a week, that's $200-$300. We go on a trip, once quarterly, that's $1,000. It adds up, right? 2, you don't have anything to offer. You don't have money. You're not the best version of yourself, quite literally. I talk with guys, and I have an easier time talking with women, going on dates with women now than I ever did when I was 23, 22, 21, right? And I know you're married now, Christian, but you probably saw the same thing. As you were getting older
Absolutely.
and wiser, you became more attractive, right? So you don't have money, you don't have experience, you don't really have anything to offer. And I would say the biggest thing is your time is being wasted, because you could be using that time productively, right? As you mentioned with your podcast, I could be using that time working towards something bigger.
Right.
Because the goal is to eventually have everything in place that women want to join that frame of life, right? They see that you are successful, they see that you have everything, and they want to join in on that life.
Right.
And a good friend of mine, his name is Joe, 2.5 years ago, he told me that same thing before I kind of started learning a lot more. He said, don't chase women, because same thing, it's a waste of time. And he became a doctor. And he said, as he got older and got all of these things completed in life, the women just came. That's the thing. I tell guys, there's so many women in the world. If you have everything going correctly in your life, they will want to join you in life. You can't force it. And then equally, if you do force it, or if you're dating someone actually completely out of your league because you don't feel confident in yourself yet, so you feel that they are out of your league, long term you won't be able to keep that relationship, but also you will also become very jealous. You will become very controlling, right? Because you're scared of losing them, because you feel that internally you're not worthy of them, right? So that's why you need to create that worth from inside.
Right.
And we should not be chasing women. If you get everything right, Christian, I think guys know this. It will come.
Right.
Don't spend money on drinks. Don't do all of this. Do everything correctly, and when you're truly ready to date, do it. And I think me, 26 now, I'm kind of getting right to that point where I'm okay with dating again.
Right.
But I can tell you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, I was not ready.
Like, what is your... Give me your thought process on, like learning sales and things of that nature. Because it's not just selling something that, to the people, but it's also... Yeah. I'm going to let you explain.
So... I, at heart, am a salesperson.
Mm-hmm.
Sales is not only the business side,
Mm-hmm.
it's also the life side. Without thinking about it, we sell people on ourselves,
Yeah.
and we sell people on opportunities and ideas every day. So being good at sales is actually a skill that we develop. It's not something we're born with. And we can get better at it by doing reps, by being in environments that require us to learn how to sell, but equally studying it on our own. So why is sales important? Sales isn't everything. When I worked at a hotel I used to manage, I would sell people on coming to the hotel every day. $1,000 sale, $1,000 sale, $2,000 sale, right? And people like to buy things. People don't like to be sold things, right? And people like to buy things from people that remind them of their friends, of their family, and of people that they like. So one of the first things on sales that I like to do is create a really good relationship with someone, right? From the second they walk in, how are you? Good handshake. Where are you coming in from? Tell me just, what's happening, right? And I try to make a connection quickly with someone. So I'm talking with someone. They say, "Oh, I just drove up from Westchester." I say, "Oh, great. I grew up in Westchester. Where are you from?" Here. Boom. Now we're friends, right? Done.
Right.
And now they're more apt to purchase something from me. But selling is also convincing people to do things. It's negotiation. I'll give you an example of if you have a girlfriend. If you want to convince your girlfriend to go somewhere you want to go, but she may or may not want to go, how you phrase a question is critical, right? Because if I were to phrase the question, baby, do you want to go to a steakhouse? She could be like, I don't want to go. No. Right? Yes. No. Now, if you phrase a question like this, baby, would you be opposed to going to a steakhouse tonight? No, I wouldn't be against that. Okay, great. We're going to go here tonight. Oh, good. Right? In her head, she's already made the decision. Right? So being able to be a good salesperson is being good with people. Communicating, making them laugh, making a connection, make them feel like they're the most important person in the room. And that doesn't even mean just selling them. Just when you talk to anyone, they are the most important person in the room. Right now, the most important person in the room to me is Christian, and I'm giving him all of my attention. So being a good salesperson in that front. And there are so many things that we can do to improve on this. And again, I love sales because you can make a lot of money in it.
Jordan, he is really into just fragrances, and I think that he's thinking about creating his own fragrance in the future, right?
Yeah. I mean, I love the creative side of perfumery. And I think that right now I'm very early on in the process where I'm learning as much as I can. But I think long term, I would love the creative side of creating a really beautiful fragrance.
Exactly. Now, I am, because I still do believe in taking out my wife for dates and stuff like that.
As you should.
Do you have anything that I could be able to wear on date night as far as...
Christian, you act like I just carry fragrances
I don't
with
know.
me, you know. But lucky you,
You saw how I gave you that
lucky for you, I did bring a couple of heavy hitters. I brought four. I brought something Christian could wear every day and smell really good and feel really good. I brought something Christian can wear when he dresses up a little bit nicer on every day. I brought something Christian can wear on date nights. And I brought something that Christian can wear when he has to be guns out, shows out, you know, he's going to a gala, he's going to an event.
Yeah.
He he needs to show off a little bit. Boys, if you don't have this one, I talk about it every single time I put on a video. It's called Gentle Fluidity Silver from MFK. Juniper berries. It's elegant, it's luxurious, it's ice cold, it's beautiful. You'll get compliments with it. So I recommend this one, everyday use. This one next is Ganymede. Just the bottle, just kind of this gold, beautiful bottle. This is like an alien in a bottle. It's luxurious, it's elegant, it smells like a bougie store. The next one here I brought is Leighton from Parfums de Marly. This I recommend for a date night.
Okay.
So this is beautiful date night fragrance. This is kind of like an apple pie. It's sweet, elegant. I really love it. This is my personal favorite. Tuxedo from YSL.
Oh, Tuxedo.
So the name I think says it all.
Yeah.
This is elegant. It's patchouli. Patchouli can be a little bit polarizing, so you either love it or hate it. But more people than not really like it. So this is a real dress-up set. So those are my recommendations to you, Christian.
For sure.
And as a gift, I know you're married, so I attended an event last year called Scent Explore.
Okay.
And it's a niche fragrance convention. I'm going back later this year.
Okay.
And one of the things that I took was a Parfums de Marly masterclass where we spoke about fragrance, what makes it what it is, what scents were in it, what was the process of it. So these are three female scents. A little bit more rose-based. We're not going to smell these.
Okay.
But give them to your wife. Have her try them on. See if she likes them.
Okay.
And, and then maybe, it's just a segue. Like, maybe she likes it. Maybe she wants to explore it a little bit more. But beautiful rose scents. Very sensual, woman-like, feminine. Very important. So I really like those.
Appreciate that, bro.
Of course.
Thank you, man.
My pleasure.
Absolutely. Listen, this is Jordan, and he will be back again on the pod. And yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. And until next time, peace.